Me, Grimlock, say, welcome to Rissman Base Network. Ha ha ha.
so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. Echo Base Network. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey,
How we doing?
I'm sitting here finishing up some work stuff. But yeah, I'm doing good.
Man, cuz you ain't shaved in a minute. You looking like Dark Kyle Katarn.
Yeah, I am looking like Darth Kyle Katarn for sure. Oh, crap.
He hasn't even noticed, people. He hasn't even noticed.
Oh, I got my work screen up, so I can't see anything on the.
Hey, oh, you know what would be cool?
Hmm.
Let me do this. Check this out, y'all. How creative am I, really? Look at this. Not that. Hang on, my bad. Oh, here we go.
Oh, come on.
Was that weird? Was that okay? All right.
Anything.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show.
What were you doing?
Nothing. None of your business. You'll never know now. You'll never know. I'm unlisting the stream. Oh crap! I just messed up. Oh my gosh. Oh, Becky. Oh. All right. Hey, we're really gonna have a show, everybody. I was just trying to have a little bit of fun. A little bit. Is that okay? Is it okay if I have? God, my head is so big. Is it okay if I have a little bit of fun? Is that okay? Everybody, give me some feedback. Is Is this okay? Am I good now? Coach has been hitting the sauce. Not really. Not really. Hey, everybody. Wonderful to see you. I'm so glad that you are here. Hail to our friends, Spank Flaps, SJ, Graph Web, Blood Guilty Gaming, Koto Dragon, The Best Guard Man, Angelina Serini, Chris Hall, D Spirit, Venger, Rogue Sarge, Spruce Wood, Steven, Lombardi 1969, Eric Brown, Papa Palpatine's Pizza Padawan, Scott Westbrook, Felix Kiros, Debbie Young, Matt Rissman, Ricky Morton, Thrawn, Mike Lotoris. Dramatic pause, if you will. Mike. Mary Lanning, Ted's Nerd World, Daisy Blossom Flower Child, Darth Wizzy Wizard, DJ Ronnie G, Mattuween, The White Snake. We love you, Becky. Thoughts and prayers to you. Davish, T-Bone, The Wonderful, Mighty, Incredible, Glorified, Star Wars Mom. D. Curry, Andrew Wall, Salty Texas Ranger, and Everscale. Anybody that I missed, thank you all for being here at Rissman Base Network. Much obliged. Yes.
Thrawn just texted me. He might have been asking in chat. But I can't see the chat because I'm sitting here just finishing up a work ticket real quick. But he wants to know my thoughts on the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo. And the demo's freaking awesome. I played through it like 3 times, discovered new stuff every single time. Next part drops February 21st, along with the huge update, which is going to enhance the performance mode of it. So, yeah, I can't wait. Absolutely loved it.
Well, this just in. Mexican Iron Man says, me and the DA are forming a DEI rebel alliance. Stop calling this the Rissman Base Network. Boo. Boo.
Yeah, I saw him and Paulie and DA and Chris Gore and all them were hanging out in LA. I saw a bunch of pictures that they'd posted. Cool stuff, man. Wish I lived closer. I would have came and hung out. Which, speaking of, Mike, I sent you a text message. You haven't responded yet.
So I got to get the video uploaded into StreamYard. Mexican Iron Man, can you come in here and upload that video? That would be fantastic if you could do that, so we could show everybody our official DEI service announcement. That would be wonderful. If you can't do it, don't worry. We'll do it later. No big deal. So as always, we discuss the highs and lows of our favorite entertainment together with you, the best community on YouTube. We're so glad that you're here. There's 4 ways that you can support Echo Base Network: memberships, Patreon, merch store, super chats. It's that easy, folks. Like that is, I ain't gonna preach it. Like, it is what it is. If you want to join us, that would be fantastic. Somebody has a show tomorrow at 2:00, and I do believe Kathleen Kennedy will be there. That's a special guest this week, right?
Yep, special guest this week, Kathleen Kennedy, exclusive tomorrow on EBN Cast.
Or her musky taint.
Yep. Yeah, I still don't have a guest lined up for tomorrow.
You don't say that. You say that tomorrow. Like,
yeah.
You just pop the air out of the balloon.
Well, it's gonna be a surprise. It's gonna be a surprise.
Yeah, we're working on stuff, everybody.
Yeah, we're working on stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Which this week has been crazy for me.
Really?
I haven't hardly done anything this week other than work, house stuff, personal stuff. Jeez. Work call. Hang on. Give me 2 seconds.
Well, hey. Well, you know what? That's okay. Upgrade. Boom.
I don't know if I'm an upgrade, but at least I'm here. How are you?
When I laugh at myself that hard, it's going to be a good night.
I can tell. The way it started out, I wasn't sure. That's the entertainment they're used to here at UVN.
Yeah, that's why you come for a close-up of my eyeball with my bushy eyebrows that need trimming, obviously. All right. So, the DA will be joining us in a few minutes. Hope everybody is doing well. We did get some member chats and super chats in the pre-show. Thank you very much for being here during the pre-show. I will be updating that pre-show sometime soon. Do you like the montage?
Mm-hmm.
The style, the theme, going back to the 80s and a little bit of 90s, because I could continue that and just change the clips to other things, same movies, different moments kind of thing. You know, I don't know. But there's something about that Jean-Claude Van Damme starting out. Oh, man. Like it's...
I see a lot of comments in the live chat every time. Oh, I saw all of these, and this brings back good memories. And well, where did all the good movies go?
You know,
you know me.
So speaking of bringing back good memories, once upon a time, our channel had a series called Why We Love Star Wars.
I know.
So we are looking into bringing that series back. Mexican Iron Man is actually the one who said, this is what you need to do. Make this part of what you're doing. And we would play those, debut them in the live stream. And they would be like our member stories or a story of hope or sometimes sadness. But it was always about why we love Star Wars, you know, and we got a couple things lined up that I think is going to be very special. So just hang tight on all that.
And you know whose was the last one we did, Coach? It was mine. Right before the rebranding, I read my own Star Wars story.
I remember. Sure do. So anyways, everybody, like I said, the DA will be joining us in a moment. Mr. Producer Man, if we could go ahead and run through our messages from our awesome people, and we will just keep on rolling. Scott Westbrook with a $5 super sticker. It's the chicken working out. Keep it up, he says. Scott, we're going to keep it up as long as there is air in these lungs and this heart is beating. We will keep it up. Wow, what a journey it's been. Over 4 years. Wait, way more than 4 years. Over 5 years.
Yeah.
Going on 6 now. I completely forgot. Yeah, going on 6 years. We're already crossed 5.
Yes.
So, you know, man, our channel has been like, woo, I hate Nick. I'm leaving the channel. Everything's great. We're wonderful. Oh, I hate his guts. Gotta rebrand. Forget Star Wars. Ahsoka ruined it all. You know, just here we are. Still here. So no matter what, we'll keep rolling. Rogue Sarge with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Rogue Sarge. Hello, everyone at EBN. Let's have a great show tonight. And don't forget to smash that like button. Guys, thank you so much. Please smash the like button. Like Rogue Sarge said, we got 86 likes, 173 people in the house currently. Let me refresh the stream and see if we get an influx of more people. You know, it's been awesome the last few shows. Midnight's Edge After Dark, Tom, the great Tom Connors, has been bringing people over. And it has been awesome. Like the last time we streamed, we literally doubled the moment he ended his stream. It was like, wow. So that was fantastic and very, very, very cool. So thank you, Bobby. And Graph Web with a $2 super chat. It wouldn't be Echo Base Network without Graph Web. # cancel Disney Plus. A lot of people have. Over 1 million. Probably going to continue. So thank you very much. Graph Web, you are the man, sir. And Donna Hergenrether has gifted 5 Echo Base Network memberships. So if you got one of those memberships, please give her a big thank you. And members, if you don't mind, please throw up some emojis. Throw up some of those Echo Base Network member emojis. Let's see what you got. And then Ted's Nerd World sends in a member chat saying, EBN Thursday nights. Gotta love the crew here. Looking forward to Nashville in October. See you all then. Bro, I am excited. Ted is gonna be at Icon.
Can't wait.
Ted is gonna be at Icon. Oh my goodness. That is awesome. Everybody that's going to be an Icon, let us know in the chat right now. Just say me. Who's coming to Icon? Just say me. And as you just typed in me. Yes, Rissman will be there.
And Coach, when I was at MegaCon here a week or so ago, whenever it was now, I met people there who are talking very highly
Rogue
about
Sarge,
Icon and looking forward to it.
Felix, Donna. Look, I got to tell y'all, the last time we went to Icon, Donna and Debbie picked me and Nick up and drove us into the convention. We felt like we were big stuff because they picked us up and drove us in. Like we were like, oh, that's right. Yeah. We got our people. We got our army. Like it was just so cool. I loved it. Oh, let's see here. Man, that's a lot of people. Blood Guilty Gaming. Let's go. Debbie Young, and there will be cake. And there will be cake. I guarantee you. Cannot wait to hang out. Ted's Nerd World is going. What?
No, stop. News to me.
What?
News to me.
Let's go. I love it. I hope so. That is fantastic. You can keep Darth Simpus in line. Jason Pack is going. Wonderful. Let's see who else is going. Mattuween. Don't really have an excuse, do you, Mattuween? Since he's a local yokel. That is going to be awesome. Yes, there's definitely going to be a meetup. Mary Lanning going to Icon. That is incredible. So guys, gonna be great. I hope so. The last time we did Icon at this particular place 3 years ago, was it 3?
Yeah. I think it was 3 years ago. Mm-hmm.
We took over the entire courtyard, and it was one of the best. It was one of the best nights in the history of our channel.
So much fun.
But it was one of the best nights ever outside the channel. Like just, it was so much fun. Golly, cannot wait to do it again, everybody. Yep, gonna be.
And we had more gifting come in, Coach, while you were
my
meeting
goodness
away.
gracious. Debbie Young is also gifted 5 Echo Base Network memberships. So if you would please give her a big thank you as well, if you got one of those memberships. Thank you to both Donna and Debbie for doing that. Tony White. Hope Tony, what is going on, James? Hope that Tony can be there as well. This guy better be there. This guy better be at Icon. Hail to our awesome brother Thrawn and one of our great moderators, Heya EB and Fam, A+ new montage to start the show. Thank you, brother. Apologies for the absence, but since I've been nerfed by Filoni, I found myself operating the Chimera at 20% efficiency and 200% caloric intake.
Oh, no.
Wow. Well, we are very glad that you are here. So, very, very glad indeed. Oh, well, we have our other person, the man who is joining us right now. And we're going to go ahead and get right into all of this news and have this discussion. So if he is ready, he will give me the 2 thumbs up and whatever that was. And, and ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him in.
What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. And real quick, before we get started,
You know, I got to say, that is a pretty good intro.
that is a dope intro, man. I love that intro, man. Absolutely, man.
I
You
did
a
that
good
like
job.
30.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate that. Yeah, y'all got Coach to thank for that intro. He did a good job with that one.
Real
Look
good.
What's going on,
Everything.
Rissman? How you doing, bro?
Your
What's going
intro's
on, my
better than
friend?
mine.
Hey, man. You know what? I can't call it, man. You put it together.
God,
You
no one
clearly
to-
knew what you needed to do.
I just don't think I could make one better than that.
No one to fault but yourself on that
I
one,
know,
Coach.
right? I know. Golly. All right, everybody. So we're going to jump right into this and see what everybody's thinking. I will tell you that we're going to go somewhere tonight that I do not believe we generally go as a channel. I am going to tell you that some opinions will be shared tonight that you will feel very strongly both for and against. You're going to hear it all tonight.
Mm.
Oh wow. Okay. Deep.
And
I
I'm
like
going
it.
to and I'm Oh,
Uh-oh.
Coach, yeah,
Uh-oh.
it's gonna be a big one, huh? We got a show together, folks. Make sure you guys share this out there with everybody. Coach is gonna get real with us. I don't even know what he's talking about.
I don't either. I'm scared. I'm scared.
Yeah,
I
man, nervous time.
usually avoid this topic of conversation at all cost.
Okay.
I
Okay.
skirt around it. I kind of float over it. I defer and let other people talk. And I got my one little talking point that I kind of go to. And the subject that I'm talking about is the prequel trilogy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm ready.
The prequel
We can do this.
trilogy.
We can do this.
I'm good with this. Yeah.
I must be true to myself. When's the last time you guys watched the prequels?
So I watch. Yeah, I said this a little bit ago when they announced that they were gonna do the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace, and it's coming out in theaters. I probably watch, bits and pieces of the Phantom Menace, like occasionally. I'll throw on the Duel of the Fates, and I'll just watch that. I'll just throw that on and just watch that, or I'll throw on the pod race and I'll just watch that. I do that just on random. So I see a lot of it. The one I haven't watched that much lately is Attack of the Clones.
And that's
I don't
the only
watch a lot of Attack of the Clones.
I watch. Love it. I love it.
You love
That's one of
Attack of the Clones.
I do. It's my guilty pleasure. I like Attack of the Clones.
Okay. Yeah, I think out of all three of them, it's the worst of the bunch. But yeah, I mean, I have Phantom. Actually, I was queuing it up, so I actually have it queued up to watch it again. Yeah, I'm the same way in a lot of ways. I am an apologist because I believe that that is still George's vision. That is what George wanted to put out there, and I think what happened is George had a lot that he was trying to accomplish in a short period of time, and that's the reason why a lot of it comes off a little clunky. Just the storytelling. You look at especially Attack of the Clones, the guy's got like 7 or 8 different storylines moving on at the same time. And it's like it's hard to keep track of them,
Yeah.
That's the big issue with it. So I think if he had more time, or if he had started at a different point in the timeline, it would have been a lot better. He should have started, in my opinion, when Anakin was older, instead of starting when he was a kid and then spending an entire movie with that. Although we got some good stuff out of it with the pod race, but just spending an entire movie with, Anakin as a 9-year-old, I don't know if that was good to the point where now it feels like the ending is rushed, or his maturation process was rushed, which is why Clone Wars helps out, because then we get to see Anakin, go through everything that he should have gone through in the films. He should have went through all of this stuff in the films, not just on a, animated series, but it absolutely helps the prequels, So that's how I feel about it. What do you guys think?
Just look at Nick's reaction right here. Nick, we're dedicating the majority of our show tonight to the prequel trilogy.
Oh. Oh God.
Not a prequel, not a prequelist, huh?
No.
And you're a Star Wars channel?
Yeah.
Really?
The thing is, I don't hate the prequels. They're just not that. They just don't compare to the original trilogy to me.
Yeah.
Like, there's parts like my favorite lightsaber battle of all Star Wars of all time is the Darth Maul fight in Phantom Menace. But I mean, I just like that movie a lot. I did not think that movie was very good.
When's the last time you watched a prequel trilogy movie, Nick?
Let's see. Last one I watched was definitely Revenge of the Sith, and it was probably on TV last year sometime.
Okay.
I mean,
When's the last time you?
I don't stick them in and watch them like I do the OT at all.
No. I am guaranteed to watch the original trilogy at this point in my life at least 2 times a year.
Oh yeah.
And I'm saying at minimum, at most probably 10.
See, and it's probably more than that for me for the OT because I like watching a lot of reaction videos of people watching Star Wars for the first time. Like I watched one last week. Like they did Star Wars and then they just dropped their Empire reaction last week. It's a couple out of the UK who knew nothing, and so they're sitting there watching it. That like they had to pause the movie when Darth Vader said, "No, I'm your father." They're like, they literally know nothing, and they're like, that can't be. He's got to be lying. Like they're like, what's going on here? But by the end of Empire, they're like, oh my God, that movie had everything. That's the best Star Wars movie that we've seen so far. Way better than the first one. And so I watch a lot of reaction videos. So I see bits and pieces of the movie multiple times a year for sure. But from start to finish, watching it from start to finish, yeah, probably like twice a year.
Rissman?
So I watched Revenge of the Sith a few weeks ago, and I actually watched Attack of the Clones on the train ride back from Orlando. So last week. And as much as I personally do not like The Phantom Menace, I absolutely will be going to see it on re-release.
We're going to get into that tonight.
I saw it at the big screen on opening night, so I'm good.
I went a few years ago. I don't even remember how many years ago this was now, probably 7 or 8 years ago, and watched it in 3D in Birmingham.
Yeah, I remember they were doing that 3D, but then the Phantom Menace didn't do well, so they didn't do anymore. And it's like, why would you start with that one? The worst one out of the 6 at that point in time. Why would you start with the worst one? If you wanted to do all 6, do them in the order they were released.
Put Star Wars first. Put Star Wars in there in 3D and see what happens.
Yeah, put the original Star Wars movie, non-special edition, 3D in the theaters. Man, that movie will freaking it'll have the biggest box office weekend out of any movie.
All right. So look, truth is, we're gonna go to the theater. We're gonna talk about the theater later. We're not there yet. And I kind of got the cart before the horse because I'm just telling you, there's going to be a lot of prequel talk tonight. Now, I'm going to hit the pause button on that. Transformers, G.I. Joe, 2 of my favorite intellectual properties of all time, has not been very good on the big screen in the live action space.
Oh, not at all.
Especially G.I. Joe.
Especially.
Transformers isn't good. I cannot stand Michael Bay. Cannot stand him. The first one was, I could swallow it, but I had to make myself get it down. Everything after that, no. So anyways, we are being guaranteed that there is a live action crossover film coming. If you saw the last Transformers movie, you know the way that it ended with a little hint there, a little Easter egg there that G.I. Joe is on the way. Good for the franchise. Any hope for both franchises? Could this be what saves both franchises? And as a huge fan of both of them, they're my favorite cartoons of all time, and I still love them today. I own the DVD collector's series. I still have toys. I will always be a G.I. Joe and a Transformers fan. They're the best cartoons ever made. But I have no hope that in live action, either one of them will ever be good. Take it away.
I'm in the same boat.
Why would you? Why would you have any hope at all based on what they've done? They've absolutely not gotten it when it comes to. I'll just say that I don't know what G.I. Joe or who is behind. Who is it? The same producer behind Transformers that's behind G.I. Joe? Is that what they're saying?
Yes.
Well, it's going to be the same.
Lorenzo
the same guy,
di Bonaventura.
Okay.
the one who just did Rise of the Beasts is a huge fan of both franchises, right? So I
Mm.
think he's continuing. Isn't that the gist of it, right? He
Well,
wants-
I haven't heard this story.
but also the gist of it, ladies and gentlemen, and I can't wait to get the DA's opinion here. The Transformers producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura spoke with comicbook.com ahead of his latest film, Madam Web.
Mm. That's true.
This is the guy producing the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover.
Mm.
Say
I
no
want to
more.
tell you the funniest tweet
Say
I've
no
ever
more.
seen. The funniest tweet I've ever seen in my life. Somebody said that a guy was arrested in the movie theater for masturbating.
Oh yeah.
Oh
And
yeah,
the
I heard
DA
about
responded and said, "Oh, he'd have been cool here because I'm the only person in the Madam Web movie."
that. Man, I
He
ain't heard a
could've-
good review of that movie yet. Have you seen it,
Man.
Rissman?
No, and I'm not going to see it. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
just
no,
can't.
you guys are good. Don't watch that. That is absolute garbage, man.
I ain't heard a good review, not even from like the shill community. Like
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
is giving this
Nobody,
movie any
because
thought.
it's garbage, man. It's the worst movie I've seen in I don't know how many years. There's nothing good in that movie at all. Nothing. Not one act, not one actress, actor. No, the storyline is garbage. The action scenes are garbage. Everything is garbage in this movie. It's not funny. There's attempts at humor that are just grown, like eye rolling. I mean, it's just horrible. Horrible. And you wonder, like, how did this movie get across somebody's desk at Sony? Did nobody watch this film and see, man, this is trash. We can't put this out there. I don't understand. There are major decisions and mistakes made with this thing. But yeah, if that's the guy that's if that's the guy that's producing this G.I. Joe Transformers movie, it's already DOA. 100%, man. Oh yeah, White Snake. So are my sins. Yeah, man. I'm saying it's bad, man. It's effing bad. It's one of the worst things I've ever watched. I mean, God, I can't get my 2 hours back. Please, hey, go do me a favor. Anybody that hasn't watched the video,
that, when you leave the theater and you think, man, I want my hours
I
back.
want my money back. I want my time back.
Yeah.
I could have been making something with that time. So yeah, go watch my review of that. Give it a thumbs up. Share it out there so I can get a little bit something back for that thing, because I feel robbed. I feel like I've been robbed of my time. I feel violated after watching that movie, man. That thing was absolutely atrocious.
So
Yeah, don't watch it. Nobody. Don't bother. Okay? Don't waste your time.
well, back to
Man.
this. You guys tell me if you disagree, and I know Rissman likes Transformers and G.I. Joe like I do. Growing up, Transformers and G.I. Joe were so like far away from each other. I never imagined the two worlds colliding. And then in the early, well, I don't remember the year that the 4-part miniseries comic came out. It might have been 1991. But there was a 4-part miniseries called, the first 2 episodes, or the first 2 comics, were the Transformers versus G.I. Joe, and then the third and the fourth one was G.I. Joe versus Transformers. It was a good series, but I remember the first time I read it, I thought it was kind of weird. Seeing Bumblebee with snake eyes, it was just weird. For a lot of comic fans, it would be likened to Marvel and DC characters together. It would be like Star Wars and Star Trek people together. And it just doesn't seem right. And the fact that they're banking on a crossover film with these two, I just don't see how it can work. I don't see how you could tell a functional, cohesive story with both of these worlds because they're so big. How can you do either one justice? It's almost like they will be competing against each other on the film. And if that's the case, then one wins and one loses, and where do we go after that? I just don't. I think this is a last ditch effort for Hasbro with both Transformers and G.I. Joe, and I really don't think it's going to work. And it sucks to say that because I love them.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. I don't know how you make it work either. The only thing I can see you doing is, like, why wouldn't you build up both universes first? Like, build up a G.I. Joe solid 3 films or something, and then Once that's established, then maybe do some sort of crossover. I don't know. I don't think this is going to work. I don't see the purpose of it. I know it's probably just so they can make a quick buck, because we got 2 big franchises, let's go ahead and just, cross them over and voila, we're going to have a hit. But I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's going to be I don't think people care about these franchises like that.
It's going to be a complete poop show.
Yeah.
They haven't shown any demonstrated ability to make good movies of either franchise.
Yeah.
You're right.
Not one single time. So what gives anybody the idea that they're going to be able to make a killer movie with this crossover?
I'll go watch it. The only good movies they've ever made were animated. Yeah. And we're talking about great movies.
Mm-hmm.
Transformers the movie 1986 and G.I. Joe the movie 1987 were great. I could watch those. I will watch those for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So, Wandering the Desert. Coach, technically, G.I. Joe has a crossover of sorts with Transformers in the Sunbow animation. It's a season 3 episode of Transformers with Old Snake, who is Cobra Commander. Now, I know that character was voiced by Chris Latta. But I
died, didn't he?
Yeah, he passed away a long time ago. I can't remember if that was actually Cobra Commander, though, or just someone who sounded like him. But you might be right. But here's the thing, too, regarding that. By the time season 3 of Transformers came around, it was dead. And very few people were watching. I was still watching, but very few people were watching. And we all know what happened to G.I. Joe. It died as well when they changed production studios and their animation changed, and it was bad. It went from great to horrible. So yeah, both of those franchises, even when they're in their greatest iteration animation, they died horrible deaths.
Yeah,
they really did. And most animated anything typically does. He-Man died a horrible death. Thundercats just went on and on and on and on and on. So did Voltron.
Mm-hmm.
Those were okay.
So Coach, I have a funny story about this in the Q&A with Peter Cullen and Frank Welker. One of the questions that was asked was something like, what is one of your more memorable experiences from being together playing Optimus and Megatron? And without missing a beat, Peter Cullen said, well, I tell you, we were reading through a particular season, and we would go in the room and we'd get the scripts for the first time, and me and Frank would be there, paging through. And he said, I was a little ahead of Frank at this particular case. And he said, I just stopped. And Frank's like, what's wrong? And Peter's like, well, what page are you on? And he said, I don't know what page. And Peter said, well, I'm on page whatever. They killed me. I'm dead. And I'm going all the way to the end. I didn't come back. And Frank's like, what? They had no idea, right? They had no idea that it was coming. And the rest of the story, right? I mean, due to fan outcry and some of the rest of it, obviously he came back, right? He said, I was floored, right? Because they gave us no warning at all. And he said, we're just doing a read through. And he's like,
so that was for the movie then?
Yeah. He's like, I'm dead.
So I'll tell you, the ultimate panic button was hit on that story. Transformers the movie came out in 86. They killed Optimus and nearly the entire old guard. Very few Generation 1 Transformers survived. Very few. They're selling toys.
Yeah.
Out with the old, in with the new. That's what it was about. They thought, Hasbro, just like Disney did with Star Wars, that they had something that could not be beaten.
Mm-hmm.
And they killed it. They absolutely murdered the franchise with that. And I love the movie.
Me
but
too.
It's the end.
I know.
So the movie comes out. 8-year-olds are leaving the theater crying and suffering PTSD. They cannot believe that the hero of the 1980s just got murdered on screen in front of them in a heroic death that was jarring. So what happens next? The movie finally airs on cable TV in a 5-part weekly drop, Monday through Friday, all 5 parts. And at the end of part 5, I'm sitting there watching it. It's 1987.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there watching it. I'm still pissed that Optimus died. At the very end, when the credits is rolling, it flashes on the screen. Optimus Prime will return. And I thought to myself, huh? That wasn't in the movie. See what they did? They hooked you in the show, and then they gave you the hope right there. They threw you that little line.
Yeah.
You know, crazy. Just crazy what they did. Hasbro. Destroyer of childhoods. Just like Disney.
Pretty much. And they're not doing very good right now.
No, they're not.
They're not doing very good right now at all.
Well, speaking of childhoods, favorite cartoon of the 90s? Go.
X-Men animated series.
Boom! Nick, your favorite cartoon of the 90s? Mine too.
Yeah.
Me and Nick were in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
We were some super nerds, man, but we were closet nerds. We didn't walk around school.
We were like 2 of the popular kids in school.
We were.
But nobody, but we did all this nerd shit like behind the scenes.
Yes. And we didn't let people know.
No.
Hey, look, man, that was all of us, man. All of us was keeping that because it wasn't cool to be a nerd back then, man.
No, I was wearing Duck Head, not Star Wars shirts.
Yeah.
I was
Dark
talking
Raider.
to
You remember Dark Raider, Coach?
Oh yeah, I do.
No, I was hanging out with Chris Gore and his crew on Friday, and it's funny because we all were sharing the exact same stories. It's like when we were coming up and we were kids, you know, I was like, I was into Star Wars and I was into, D&D, I was a D&D guy and all of that stuff was taboo. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But all of that stuff was taboo, man. Like you didn't talk about that stuff. You didn't broadcast that, but those were my peoples, those are my guys, the guys that I hung out with. That's what they did, and then like the rest of school was like, oh yeah, football and everything. And, I like football and sports and all of that kind of stuff too. But like, behind the closed doors, I had my comic books, and that stuff was completely like laughed at. If you were caught with comic books, oh my God, I don't know what happened to you.
I didn't have a Star Wars shirt. I didn't want a Star Wars shirt. But let me tell you, I loved Star Wars.
Yeah. But you know what? When the tide changed, at least for me, is the summer of '89. Batman was so huge in that summer, and everybody was walking around wearing that Batman, that little shirt with the logo on it. Yeah. Everybody got it. It became cool all of a sudden to like Batman again. Yeah.
And I'd actually bring comic books to school and read them. And now that I think about it, I wasn't too closet of a nerd because I did bring comics. I brought my Star Wars books and I brought my Star Wars Kenner action figures, and Coach stole my Greedo.
Bullshit.
What?
I feel like I've heard this story before.
Nick, we're in the 8th grade and he brings his figures.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me take them to class, this class. So he like let me take them. I gave him his stuff back and he's telling me, hey man, you didn't give me my Greedo figure back. And I'm like, I ain't got your Greedo figure. I gave it back to you. And he accused me of stealing his Greedo figure. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
and my Tasmanian devil necklace.
now I broke that.
Yeah.
I broke that.
Yeah. Looney Tunes was real big back then, too.
I did think it was kind of weird that you had a Tasmanian devil necklace. That was weird to me.
Yeah. I thought it was badass.
See, I was a basketball player. Matter of fact, I was the basketball player
Yeah.
at that school. Agree or disagree?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Do you remember when
Okay.
Dwight, who everybody thought was the best player because he could dunk,
Mhm.
was better than me, and you sat there under the goal and watched me beat him 32-0?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, like he's my kid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, anyways, at 9:00, it was ritual. At about 8:57 a.m. on Saturday mornings, I would call Nick or he would call me, and it would be this conversation. Hey, man, the tick is finally going off. X-Men's coming on.
Yeah.
And then Nick would say, I'll call you right when it's over. We literally hung the phone up, watched X-Men, and the moment the credits started rolling, we called each other. We talked about the episode.
Yeah.
Every Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. That was
Yeah,
our
and
life.
we did that for the first two or three seasons. I can't remember when I kind of
We did it until
fell
they
off for
stopped
me.
playing it.
Yeah. Whatever season that was.
And that is when Saturday mornings were no longer Saturday mornings.
Yep.
They got away from playing the stuff that you wanted to watch.
Yep.
So, X-Men 97 trailer. Just in case you guys didn't know, they're continuing this story, and this story continues after Professor X has died.
Yeah. After the last episode of the original series.
Yep. So the classic 90s cartoon continues. Now, Rissman, you sent me an image. So let's give this thing a watch.
Yeah.
And
The only thing I'll mention, Coach, is I think it's the original theme song. Is we should talk over. Just be aware they play the original song throughout the.
No.
I've seen other people reacting to it. I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what
look at
happens.
that. I had what in the freak?
What is happening?
I don't know. All right. I had that Colossus figure.
Patrick
there.
had that. Yeah.
Nice.
Those figures by Toy Biz were well done.
Yeah.
I mean, they still hold up to shoot. I still got some. I got Iceman. He was one of my favorites. All right, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Can you hear it?
No audio.
No.
Dadgummit, I did it again, y'all. Boomer.
It's very easy to do. Very easy to do.
Mhm. I do it every week.
Oh,
That's because it does it by default. It does it
Yeah.
directly by default.
all right, here we go. We were just kidding. Look at that old TV.
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
I'm grateful to have the chance to say goodbye. I am proud of you all, my X-Men.
Fate lies in our hands.
I don't even remember Morph being back, but the last season of that got
Oh, he's
Yeah.
he's
The animation studio changed.
It did.
And that was part of the issue.
Yep.
yeah.
Now.
I have not seen this.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Cool.
When did this crap come out?
Today.
Today. This
Yeah.
morning.
My first time. It already looks like Tron Uprising to me.
Mm.
That right here, it does for sure.
We have to stay vigilant.
That's Cyclops.
Hmm.
The professor entrusted us with his dream.
Still sounds good. That don't look like X-Men to me.
No matter how dark it is,
That does.
We must believe in each other.
For the copyright.
We get this done by working together as a team.
Jeez, bub. Keep buzzing in my ear.
Did you notice that, Coach? That's not that's not the same voice.
Mm-mm.
I think it's him. He just doesn't sound the same.
I've
Yeah.
heard quite a few people say the same thing. They're like, it's
Yeah.
not
I
the
think
same
it's-
voice. And
I
it
think
is
it's him.
It is him.
It's him.
Yeah, because I think all the original voice actors are back.
Yeah, it's him.
But when I heard that, I was like, wow, his voice
Working
is
together
changed.
That's not what Wolverine. Okay, round boy, let's dance.
Yeah, he sounds different for sure.
The team.
Jeez, bub. Keep buzzing in my ear.
It sounds real like stiff, like
That voice cannot be wrong. I wish you could see what I'm doing with my toes right now.
Bishop's back.
Heads up!
Sentinels are back.
To me, my X-Men. Magneto.
Apparently, go on. Somebody else. It's Cal Dodd.
Last will and testament of Charles Xavier. Everything he built now belongs to me.
So no Professor X because he died. Obviously, maybe he comes back somehow, some way. I actually didn't think the trailer was that bad, other than the Wolverine voice. But the other stuff that's dropping and coming out on this is what gives me concern. Morph being non-binary and having a special relationship with Wolverine in the show.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can.
Yep.
What do you mean a special relationship?
They don't go into it. They just say
non-binary.
Non-binary special
that right
bromance.
there, I was out.
Yeah,
But,
Wolverine.
You're telling me that they're gonna make Wolverine
bi, maybe he might be bi.
So all that. Oh, Jean Grey.
Yeah, I guess he gave up on it, and that's number 7. That's number 7. That's what Morph looks like now. See how he looks like. You can't tell if he's. I mean, it looks like a dude, but he's gonna be like a non-binary character. And of course,
it comes from number 7 in the description. So this is from the Empire article, and it says, you know, he really sets the stakes, and he had a very interesting relationship with the team because of trauma. This is a lighter take on the character who is non-binary and has an interesting buddy relationship with Wolverine. The character's past with Mr. Sinister, the show's villain, could also come into play.
And maybe it's just like a buddy bromance thing. Maybe it's not anything sexual at all. But I don't know.
If they make Wolverine go that way, I am instantly out and will never watch it again.
Yeah, same. And then of course they give Storm the SJW mohawk, which, to be fair, she did have that haircut originally in the comics. But they should have left her with her long hair.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole Wolverine thing, you know, another iconic voice that just no longer, the guy still tries to do the voice, but it just does not. You can tell it's the same voice, but it's so different. And this is what happens over time with a lot
When
of
you get
voice
older.
actors. Very rarely, singers, it's the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, you could tell.
Sure.
Darth
Absolutely.
Vader.
Yeah.
Sure. But the voice that comes to mind, Rissman, is Frank Welker's Megatron.
It's so funny you mentioned that, because in the recording that he did for me, I played it on my boss. My boss wanted to hear it. He's a huge Transformers fan. So on his staff call today, he said, play the recordings. And so I started with Frank Welker, and he said, why does he sound like Triumph? He's like, he doesn't sound like Megatron. And so
He
I
hasn't
really,
for years, to be honest.
so I really paid attention, and you're right. It's the graveliness, if you
It's
know what I
too
mean.
much.
The graveliness is overdone now,
No,
and you can tell he's really thinking about it. Peter Cullen gets back into Optimus Prime almost effortely without
he's
even
still
thinking
Optimus
about
Prime.
it.
Yeah.
But for Frank, I could see it in person, right? Processing, and you can hear it a bit in the recording. So it's so funny you said that, because my boss said the same thing. He's like, wow, it's kind of Megatron-ish.
That's
and I'm like, yeah.
That's what I heard with Wolverine right there. It's Wolverine-ish.
Well, that's Cal Dodd, who apparently took over voicing Wolverine in the more recent animated series and some of the rest of it. That is not the original. I looked it up. It's not the original Wolverine that you all would have remembered from the first run of the series.
Are we sure about this?
That's what I think I saw. Is it?
Because that will explain it.
Yeah.
It's always this ad. Every time this ad blocker gets on my last nerves.
But yeah, other than that kind of news that's coming out on this, I actually didn't think that the trailer was that bad. I liked the where Gambit charges Wolverine's blades. That was pretty cool.
Oh no! So
Sentinel's coming back. Was pretty.
That
cool.
was Cal Dodd in the
it
X-Men
was
animated
Cal Dodd
series.
originally, and
he
it's
was the
still
voice of
Cal Dodd.
Wolverine in the arcade game, in Mutant Apocalypse. I mean, all throughout the 90s, that it was him in everything.
Still him. It is still he.
And look, this is 2022. Just listen.
I know what you're thinking, punk. Question is, can I get Wolverine before he turns me into shish kebab with those claws? Well, bub, seeing as how these claws are made of adamantium, the strongest metal known, and can slice through vanadium steel like a hot knife through butter, buddy, you gotta ask yourself, do I feel lucky?
That was good.
I know what
Yeah.
you think.
Yeah,
that
it
was
sounds
good.
just like him.
But on your point, it didn't, even to my untrained ear, it didn't sound like what I heard in the trailer.
No, definitely not. And I noticed that when I watched it this afternoon. I noticed the same thing immediately. Maybe it's just that one line delivery. Maybe the rest of the show, maybe he sounds fine, but yeah, that one line delivery, I was just like, whoa, like I had to take a pause.
Yeah, that's like somebody besides Kevin Conroy being Batman, which
yes,
Peter Weller was a great Batman voice in the Dark Knight Knight Returns part 1 and 2. You know, but he was a much older Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I hope that voice comes back, because man, it definitely needs it.
Yeah.
Now, we have an important channel update here, ladies and gentlemen. Know that Echo Base Network is a channel. Is DA here?
Yeah, I was gonna say, make sure DA is back.
We gotta wait.
Yeah.
We gotta wait.
Yeah.
We can't.
Well, we're waiting on him. Did you have that same kind of pause moment when you saw Rogue One and heard Vader talking in it?
His voice sounded a tad bit weaker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was like Grandpa Vader.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was watching Rogue One, I was like, oh wow, I can definitely tell that's old James Earl Jones.
But I'm still glad it was James Earl Jones. But yes, it's different. But to be fair, we've never talked about this, Nick. This is something that's new for even us. I have always thought that the voice of Darth Vader in all 3 original trilogy movies were a little different. Think about when he's on board, Commander, tear this ship apart.
Yeah.
Totally
Versus
different.
him in Empire.
Oh.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones's voice as Darth Vader was different for all 3 films.
And especially when he does apology, for some reason, it's more noticeable when he does apology accepted, Captain. You know, when he's in that in that scene, if you compare that to him speaking in A New Hope, it's a little different.
Yep. All right. So important DEI Echo Base Network announcement. We are a channel for everybody. Remember, we are, you are. Here it is.
We are broadcasting live from the Echo Base Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Convention with the great DA, Derek.
That's right.
Mexican Iron Man in the house. We're outside the live music bar where we've done a meetup with Film Threat, Latino Slant. There's Latino Slant. All right, it's always great to have a great brother like Latino Slant showing the love to Echo Base Network. Latino Slant, what do you have to say to Echo Base Network?
How y'all doing?
Wow.
My name's Nick. How y'all doing? Yeah, we're gonna have a real good show. My name's Nick. Hi, my name is Coach. Nick, why don't you not say any bad words?
Well, all right, and back to the minority contingent here.
Yo, this was awesome, man. Hanging out with this guy, man, was an absolute treat, man. Hanging out with Chris Gore, all the cast over here, man. Hey, man, I had a great time, man. You guys should all be a part of the DEI Echo Base Network crew, man. We do it big over here, man. But yeah, it was dope, man. This guy here, man, this guy is hilarious, man. He got a lot of stories. Man, this dude is hilarious, but I love this guy. He's my man, Mike, Mexican Iron Man. He always talks about himself in the third person. It's the funniest thing in the world, bro.
All right, lots of love. Broadcasting from Pasadena, California, Echo Base Network. We are, you are, Echo Base Network.
That was great.
That was good.
Hi, y'all. I'm Nicholas Glenn.
Hey, man, he nailed it, too. He nailed both of you guys, man. Perfect.
I still don't know where people come up that I have that strong of a Southern draw. I mean, I obviously have one because I live in the South. It's kind of grown on me since I've lived here. But it's if you actually lived here and listened to people,
you would know Nick is not.
You would
from
know
here.
that I am not from here. But
I fit in. Nick does not.
Yeah. But yeah, every time I go up north or out west or even up to the Midwest, like people are like, "Oh, you're from the South." I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Wow, your accent's so strong." I'm like, "Good God, go to Alabama and actually hang out with people down there, and you'll be like, okay, your accent's not that bad."
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, guys, that's going to get us into the Star Wars news. So now we're going to get to it. We got several things, so we're going to move kind of quickly through it. So feel free to just jump right in and tell me what you think. But I think a lot of people saw this. The article got my attention. And I guess I just want to ask, is there a little bit of truth to this? Or has it already happened? Or is there no way that this could happen? Because they can't. And what I'm saying is Screen Rant releases an article. And it is titled, "The Bad Batch Season 3 is the End of George Lucas's Legacy." Let me say that again. The Bad Batch Season 3 is the end of George Lucas's legacy. What the crap does that mean? And D. Bradley Baker, the voice actor for all of the clones, it's his quote in an interview where he's saying that actually tracks back to the original idea that George Lucas came up with, because this is sort of the end of George Lucas's legacy, The Bad Batch. He came up with that idea, and it was part of the original Clone Wars series that he made with Dave Filoni. The dynamic that he and the writers came up with was very clear, so that they feel so different that it was actually easier for me than keeping the clones distinct, because they all feel like such different people to me. So as you are all aware, The Bad Batch Season 3 is the culminating season for the show. It's over. And D. Bradley Baker is saying that in a way, this is the end of his legacy, which is, I just don't think it's proper word usage. I don't think legacy is the word that he was going for. Story arc, maybe, but how could you say, who is he to say that? How could he say that with any type of authority? It just makes no sense to me. However, you got to say, well, hell, they moved on from George Lucas Star Wars a long time ago, because so I get it, both sides of it. Nick, weigh in.
Well, I have no idea what he was trying to say or mean with that, but the way I kind of took it is he was saying that this is the end of George Lucas's thought process of Star Wars, like his ideas of Star Wars. Now there's other people involved in the KK camp who's coming up with their own ideas and stuff that didn't come from George, and this is like the last thing that has George's, fingerprints on it.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I think this is the last thing that he actually had his fingerprints on. But if you go back to the quote, Coach, go back to the quote real quick, because I think he even says like George was like, this was his. Yeah, this is sort of the end of this, the original idea that George Lucas came up with. So he's saying basically this is the last thing that George like personally had his fingerprints on, the Bad Batch. He came up with that idea. It was part of the original Clone Wars series. And so this is it, George's last thing that he's kind of worked on, and that's it. So, yeah, I think that's basically what he means.
It's so funny that we're talking about the prequels tonight. Think about that comment after I say this. The Bad Batch is not worthy of having George Lucas's fingerprints on it.
I don't know. Those 2 episodes of season 2 last year that were pretty awesome.
Yeah,
if I was George Lucas, I would claim those.
I'm not talking about 2 episodes. I'm talking about the whole thing, Omega.
Oh yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, with Omega and stuff. See, George's original idea of the Bad Batch was the 4 of them, or wait, 5. It was originally 5 because what's his face turned bad, but yeah, it was 5 of them. There was no Omega. She wasn't coming in to save the day and rescue them every single week on the new episodes and all this other silly nonsense that Disney's thrown in there. But the concept of the Bad Batch, I like when the first season was about to drop, I was like, man, this is like Elite Special Forces clone unit. Like, man, this could be like awesome. And when it started off, like it was getting pretty dark and stuff. Like I liked the beginning.
The first episode was really good.
Yeah, but then it just.
Wait, are y'all talking about the Bad Batch, the show, or those episodes in? Okay,
yeah, not
because they introduced them in what was it like? There was like 3 or 4 episodes, right, of Clone Wars season 7. Yeah, I liked them from Clone Wars season 7. I thought that was cool. Yeah, I didn't really care for them. I didn't really care for them once they got their own show. Although it's fine, it's a fine show. I don't hate it, but it's just
in my opinion, Clone Wars, any season of Clone Wars, but especially Clone Wars season 7 because of the last 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah, they're really.
It's so much better than anything the Bad Batch has done. It's not. You can't even compare the two, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give Dave Filoni his flowers where it comes to Clone Wars, because that's where he belongs. Fly that ship, and I'll be happy, Dave, because you do a great job.
That's his wheelhouse. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think obviously for me the appeal on Bad Batch season 3 has nothing to do with the Bad Batch. Similar to what Nick was saying about the last season, right? But what I'm really interested to see what they do in this season is more around Palpatine, cloning, the Empire, Tantus, how all of that comes together. Although from some of the people who've screened the first 8 episodes, maybe it's not going to come together in a way that a lot of people find pleasing.
Yeah,
but
why not?
But because I think they're going to explain what Gideon and Pershing were up to. I think they're going to explain somehow Palpatine returned. I think they're going to try and explain all of it, right? But I'm very curious to see how all that goes, and then, of course, what does happen to the Bad Batch, and also recent interviews with the voice actress of Omega leads me to believe that she may not last past this season. There was a thought that she was going to have some grandiose something was going to happen. She was going to be in live action. We're never going to be rid of Omega. I'm not sure that's the case anymore. So I'm just curious to see the first 8 episodes. Again, they sent them out to the usual suspects. They've screened very well. So we'll see.
So I got a question. We'll shift gears here and chat. This question is for you as well. I'd like it if you participated in this question. So Nick, Rissman, DA, there are 10 Star Wars feature films. Rogue One is the 10th outside of the Star Wars Skywalker saga. Okay. You with me so far?
Mm-hmm. You said 10 or 11?
11. There's 11.
Yeah. Solo.
He does. He's not counting Solo.
He don't count Solo?
That's a Star Wars movie? Really?
It is a Star Wars movie.
I had no idea.
It says it there in the title. It's a Star Wars story.
Okay. Yeah. I literally, I am being honest here. If you don't bring up Solo,
I understand.
It won't even be in my mind.
I understand.
It's almost like it didn't happen. Isn't that kind of how you feel, Nick?
Yeah, 100%. It's the only Star Wars movie that has come out in theaters that I never went and saw.
Never went and saw.
Never went and saw.
I watched it once, and Debbie convinced me to give it another go. I'm going to say it was back in the summertime, not quite a year ago. And I got about halfway done, and I was out.
You just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. F Solo. Oh, that movie's terrible.
Anyway, Coach, I didn't mean to take you off.
Yeah. Keep going.
Well, actually, we're on topic. So what I want to say is, with 10 or 11 movies, or hell, if you want to throw Caravan of Courage and the Ewok Adventure in there, 13 movies, whatever you. Yeah. If you could go watch any 4 Star Wars movies at the theater, what order would you do it from? The one you want to see the most to the least, 1 through 4. And if you will type those in chat, I am very interested in your answers. And I'm going to number mine. So I'll start us off. I'm going to say 5, 4, 6.
Oh, so top 5 we'd want to see, or top 4?
4. Top 4.
Oh, you're saying episode 4. Okay, I got you.
And I'm going to say that's mine. 5, 4, 6, 3. And I'm going to be honest with you. Rogue One is close to getting the 4th spot. On any given day, that could bump Revenge of the Sith out.
Yeah.
So we got 9, 4, 5, 6 from Cylon Scotty. Cylon Scotty, thank you for sharing. I will be honest. I'm glad somebody.
Numbers now. Yeah.
I'm glad somebody put a sequel trilogy movie. I'm not gonna put one, but I'm glad someone did.
Yeah.
So let's see what else we got here. Oh, we got them. Rebecca, 3 through 6. Spaceship Vampire, 3, 4, 5, 6. In that order. Okay. All right. Shrike, 6, 5, 3, 4. Okay. Zinchi, 4, 5, 6, 3. That's real close to mine, brother. That's real close to mine. I went 5, 4, 6, 3.
I just typed mine and put mine in chat.
Let's
other
see.
Echo base.
Leia Rose says Ray, a good character. All right. Cylon Scotty, 9, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. 4, 5, 3, 6. Wow. Revenge of the Sith over Return of the Jedi. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, 4 again.
I ain't even mad at that.
Hey, he didn't break the rule. That's what I mean. He followed the rules. So 5, 4, 3, 6, 2, Rogue One. Rob did not follow the rule, but we'll take his first 4 choices.
Rob, right?
Hey, Rob. 5, 4, 6, 4. So they did it again. 3, 4, 5, 6. Watching that order, I like that. I like that a lot. Maybe, just maybe, Revenge of the Sith is what episode 1 should have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been that way.
If they would have went Revenge of the Sith for episode 1 and then went into Darth Vader for episodes 2 and 3,
what ended up being Kenobi?
Empire,
what ended up being Kenobi?
And what ended up being Kenobi
without Kenobi?
Yeah. Man.
Without little Leia.
Yeah. Man.
I'm talking about Vader at his peak, Inquisitors.
That's what everybody wanted.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we thought we were getting. We thought we were getting peak Vader hunting down Jedi. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And
it's
I don't know why.
One Vader. Let's go.
Yeah.
And he's getting his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, Rogue One, A New Hope. Whoa, buddy.
Thrown through in Rogue
One over A New Hope. That is like sacrilege. I love it. I love it. 4, 5, 6, 3. 4, 5, 6. Oh, the least is The Last Jedi. Okay, I'm with you on that. I'll never watch that movie again. That is a guarantee. I'm actually trying to convince Nick to. I think we would laugh, but it would be painful too.
Patreon rewatch. When does it start, Coach? You and Nick. You and Nick for the Patreon rewatch.
I want to do it. It would be dude, we could make the funniest video if we just watch it and give commentary as we watch it.
Y'all, I would watch that. I would seriously watch that. That would be great.
Let's have a couple of drinks.
More than a couple.
I would. It would definitely
get loaded up.
It would definitely have to be on a weekend when I can go get a bottle at the liquor store.
This video is rated R, like Ralph Desmond style. Okay,
yeah, and it'll be Patreon exclusive. I would be down for doing that if DA or Rissman or anybody else wanted to jump in on it.
I'm all for it. I think
100%. That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll plan it. We'll plan it out.
Okay,
definitely have to be a drinking night for me.
Yeah, that could
heavy
be
heavy drinking night.
A lot of fun, dude. We should just watch them all.
Oh man, I don't know if I can do that.
Not in one night.
Not in one night.
Yeah, over the course of time.
Like, I will come to your house.
Maybe over the course of like a year.
We will sit down, jump in StreamYard with the boys. We will watch it and give commentary.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
And we will not release the video to the public.
It'll definitely be a Patreon exclusive because I'm not trying to edit that video and bleep everything out and all that. And there's no way we'd be able to upload that to YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. We couldn't even make it members only on YouTube, right?
Because it would be the full movie. It would get taken down immediately.
All right. So look, the reason I asked the question is because you guys already know. The Phantom Menace is coming back. And like Nick said earlier, they've already done this. And it did so poorly in 3D, they couldn't even get to Attack of the Clones. And look, here's the thing. I don't know what's going to happen. Okay? I don't know. But this is what I do know. When Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary hit the theater, it was the #1 movie per screen by far that week.
Yep.
It destroyed everything. And it wasn't even promoted.
Nope.
We promoted it.
Yeah.
We did the promotion. Remember?
I didn't know anything about this.
We promoted it.
That's exactly right. We were like the only cats in the world talking about it.
Yeah.
So, how do you guys think the Phantom Menace is going to do? To me, this brings back and look, I mean this respectfully. I know we got a lot of fans here who love the sequels. Or I'm sorry, my bad. The prequels. Okay. The prequels is like Casablanca compared to the sequels. Okay. Yeah. But the prequels for me brings back the feeling when I realized with Nick watching it in '99 that Star Wars is no longer magical.
Yeah.
It's no longer magical. It's not what it was. It's still Star Wars, and I'm appreciating it, and I'm watching it. And I went to the theater and saw it 3 times in the first 2 days. But it's not the same.
George wasn't the same at that point in his life
wasn't.
either, as when he did the original trilogy. He was a completely different person at that point in his life.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Again, I think
if
honestly,
he did all 6 of those movies when he did the first Star Wars, those prequel movies would have been completely different.
So DA said something earlier that made me, and I mentioned this not specifically, but one of the things that I have said on this channel countless times, I'll get 3 words into it and Nick and Rissman will already know what I'm saying. The effect of the story of Clone Wars that it had made the sequels or the prequels for me, the prequels go from awful, I don't ever want to watch them again, to I love those movies.
Yeah.
It made me love those movies.
People.
But here's the problem. I am 7 years removed from watching the Clone Wars. So guess what feelings came back? I don't want to watch the prequels. I got it right that time. I don't want to watch the prequels. Now, if I was still actively watching the Clone Wars, I probably would. Because that's what they accomplished. It's just the craziest thing. I'm right back to square one how I felt. And I'm not going to go watch the Clone Wars all over again just so I could have another appreciation for the prequels. The truth is, as a standalone trilogy, it's not good. But that's my opinion. Is there great moments? Yes. George Lucas finished all 3 movies exceptionally well. Duel of the Fates, Yoda fighting in a lightsaber, and the whole end of Revenge of the Sith, the last 1/3 of the movie is great.
Yeah.
Take it away, guys. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I agree. I'm not going to go see this in theaters. I mean, I have it on Blu-ray here. It's my least favorite of George's 6 movies. I'm not going to pay to go see this. Like I said, the mall fight at the end is my favorite lightsaber battle out of all of George Lucas Star Wars, but I'm not going to pay just to go watch that last, 30 minutes of the movie. And I will be surprised if this thing makes more than $5 million on its opening weekend.
Well, and it may only be, there is some talk now that it may only be open for the weekend. It was very open-ended at first, that it was starting on the 3rd.
Yeah.
Now it seems like it's only going to be for the weekend, and I don't
Friday,
know.
Saturday, Sunday.
I don't know on how many screens. I'm going to go and see it. If it's playing at my AMC, it doesn't cost me anything unless they put a list excluded, which they might.
But
I'm going to go.
I don't care what anybody thinks about it. Like there are people who get way bent out of shape Like, if you loved The Phantom Menace, and we have people here that grew up with the prequels like we did the original trilogy. X-Wing likes to call himself a prequel baby. Okay? Totally get it. If that's your first love of Star Wars, I get it. Okay? And if you get an opportunity to go and relive that again, you get to, because here's what, in my opinion, this is what I'm saying this as somebody who reads the comments and tries to understand their thinking, because I don't feel what they feel.
Yeah.
But they love the sound of the pod racers in the theater. And to be able to go back and hear that again with the technology now, they're like, yes, I'm doing that. I want to go see Duel of the Fates on the big screen. I want to see Jar Jar Binks step in a pile of crap.
Get zapped by the electric thing on the pod racer, and
well, and a couple of comments, right? Some of those folks now have kids. Some of those prequel babies are the people that enjoyed the prequels. The Melvora is reinforcing this, right? Want to take their kids to see it. So I think not only is there nostalgia, but I think there's something a little bit familial for it, if you will, also for people that are bringing up their children with Star Wars. But then I see other comments, and I got into it big time in a Discord with someone, the comment that I Am Siler is making, which is, if you go and see it, you are giving Disney money. Right. And I had a bad row with somebody in a Discord who basically said, if you go and see The Phantom Menace and give them your money, you lose the opportunity to complain about anything that Disney ever does again from a Star Wars standpoint, because you are supporting the problem. And I'm like, bro.
Yeah, I don't.
Let's not take it to the extreme.
Yeah,
but
I think you have to. You support when they're getting something right. If Rogue One, Return of the Jedi came out, my money went to Disney, but that was my childhood movie. I was going to see that movie in the theater.
Oh, so you mean we supported Disney when we went to go watch Return of the Jedi?
Yeah. When really we were supporting George Lucas Star Wars. Of course, Disney got our money because they own it now.
My personal opinion on this is, as soon as we let them take away our enjoyment
Tatooine was with us too.
Of George Lucas Star Wars, to me, that's when they've won, right? If you want to say there's a battle raging, the minute that we say can't do it,
look,
for me,
which is what I did with Solo.
Can you not say, DA, that somebody with that frame of mind, is it fair for me to say that I'm going to go watch Return of the Jedi, or I'm going to go watch The Phantom Menace in the theater again because my love of George Lucas Star Wars is bigger than my dislike or hate for what Disney has done.
100%.
Nothing will ever be as big as what I love that George Lucas did. So I am going to go watch the movie.
Yeah.
The flip side of that coin. Yeah. The flip side of that coin is, some people, the main thing is, we hate what Disney has done, so do not go support Disney in any way whatsoever, even if they start doing things right. I mean, remember the fallout that was happening on YouTube when Picard season 3 dropped. It got ugly.
Well, but see, here's the
because
thing,
people
man.
are like, don't support Paramount no matter what. They've destroyed They've destroyed it.
That's insane. And I'm gonna tell you why that's insane. I'm gonna tell you why it's insane to do that, okay? Because number one, these films deserve to be celebrated. This is the 25th anniversary of a film George Lucas made. It's on May the 4th weekend. All right. So it's Star Wars Day that it's coming out. And Star Wars fans, if you're a fan of this film, you shouldn't feel guilty about going out and celebrating a film that you enjoy and love. It deserves to have that recognition. It's its 25th anniversary. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Have them release The Last Jedi back in theater and see who shows up for that.
Hey, but you know, somewhere down the line,
gosh.
they're probably going to end up doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, just
The
like
Last Jedi back in the theater.
I would like to see the that thing does.
you got to support the stuff you love. So I don't have a problem with that. I don't think anybody should have a problem or an issue with that. You know, that was George's movie. You know, and if you're a George Lucas supporter, you should be like flocking to the theaters to do it, not to avoid sticking like, oh, I don't want to give Disney any of my money, but it's more like, you know, the message should be sent that we're not going to rock with this other Star Wars that you're sending us, but this is the Star Wars we want. We want legit Star Wars that came from the original creator, George Lucas. That's how I look at it. You know, I'm always going to support OG Star Wars all the way. I'm going to support Star Wars. That's great. But, you know, if they start making good Star Wars content again, I'll support that too. You know, I'm a Star Wars fan. That's what I am. You know, I say all the time, that's the hill that I'm going to die on. I will leave every other franchise, every other fandom behind. Star Wars is going to be the last thing that I'm rocking with because that's this big a fan that I am. But yeah, I don't see any problem with it.
Yeah, and I'm not dogmatic about the issue. Like if somebody's has that hard stance of I'm not supporting them, even if it's something that I like. All right,
I respect
props to you, man.
Yeah, man,
I don't like it when
man.
they tell
Love
me
what you're
what
gonna
I should
love,
do.
man.
Yeah.
I'm not like that's why I don't take away from people that love The Last Jedi or the sequel trilogy or whatever. It's like, you know what? Life's too short. If you love it, if you really love it like that, then love it. Okay, fine. But me, no, I think it's absolute crap. All right, I think it's dog crap, and I'm not gonna always call it dog crap. But if you like it, hey, more power to you. You know, and you go enjoy what your life. Life is short. You know, I don't believe in, you know, telling people not to enjoy something that, you know, they enjoy just because they want to stick it to Disney.
Yeah, I mean, when Empire comes back out in theaters next time it comes back out, I'm all in. I'll probably pay to go see it on the big screen again. You know,
because we missed it. We missed the 40th anniversary because that was, you know, 2020. You know, so they had all the theaters and everything locked up. We didn't really get a chance to celebrate that. Like I believe in that stuff, celebrating it. Like when what's the other one? When A New Hope hits 50. You think I'm not going to celebrate that and get in the theaters for the 50th anniversary of New Hope? Are you kidding me? I'm going to be first in line. Hey, man, there's no way in the world I'm not going to go and watch that in theaters.
So
I understand.
They roll out A New Hope in 2027. That's the what do you
50th
call it?
anniversary.
What do you call the movie that comes on before the actual main event? What do we call those? They're going to play Star
trailers?
Wars. Well, they're going to play Star Wars 50th anniversary 1977 at the theater for the main event, which will be the Rey movie.
Oh my God.
Oh, come on.
That's the only way they're going to do it. It's going to be, you want to see Star Wars? Come watch it. And then we get Rey right afterwards. That's how they're going to suck us.
Everybody's going to leave the theater after it's over. After I want to see. Bye.
After New Hope's over, people will have video recordings of everyone getting up out of the theater and walking
Movie's over.
out.
Hey, 2027. Tell me I'm wrong, Rissman. 2027. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I think the Rey movies.
I thought it was coming out in 26.
Well, we don't know.
Because they got two dates, right? They got the May and December dates for Star Wars.
I actually think Coach is probably more correct in that way than we think, because I don't think we're going to get two movies in 26. I think they may give us something in 2027, and I think it'll be the Rey movie, if there is ever a Rey movie.
Yeah, if it ever actually happens.
All right, well,
but you know what is happening, guys? The Acolyte. And we'll be getting a trailer for that pretty soon.
As we continue to rebrand the channel.
Yep.
Yeah.
The KK and non folks are being very silent right now about the Acolyte.
Oh yeah.
How it was not real, just a sizzle reel.
Look, ladies and gentlemen,
not really happening.
We have 2 live action shows, The Acolyte and Babysitters in Space, to get us through Star Wars this year.
Oh God, it's going to be
it's going to be a long year
for Star Wars.
Well, and the Bad Batch season 3 starting next week. Right. Yep. So of the 3 things, that's the best. I should use this finger, right? Of the 3 things, the Bad Batch season.
But we'll have X-Men 97 to talk about, Bad Batch to talk about.
The Bad Batch is
Dune
peak
2.
Star Wars 2024.
Yeah.
Man.
How sad
Wasn't
is
there one
that?
more thing that was coming out? Oh, Tales of
Deadpool
the Jedi.
3
Never
is
mind.
coming out. We'll
Tales
be
of Jedi,
talking about
maybe.
that here for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
there'll be
boy,
tons of
man.
news dropping. And
This is a rough year, man. This year is already off to a bad start, man.
Think about the Book of Boba Fett, which, oh, by the way, let's just throw this out there, is not going to get a second season. I feel terrible for Ming-Na Wen. I think she's fantastic. I love her dearly. I feel terrible for Tamura Morrison. It is not going to happen. He just said this the other day, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know if there's going to be a second season. I don't know what's going on there.
Why would you do a second season? Why would you do a second season of that show?
So I think everyone is just setting back in, and it all goes back to budgets and what they want to do and how much the thing costs. I really don't know. I really don't know. Judging by the fans I've met, they all want a season 2 of Boba Fett, but I don't know what's going to happen. Well, we know what's going to happen. You're not going to get a second season of the Book of Boba Fett.
If I could talk to Tamura Morrison, he would probably agree with everything I'd say, because I'd say, you know what, that show sucked. It's not on you. It's not your fault. But those writers and stuff, that show was god awful terrible. That is not Boba Fett. That is not Boba Fett. We wanted Boba Fett from Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, minus him getting, struck with that stick from Solo and from Han.
They could have gave us Boba Fett from what was it? Episode 6 of Mando season 2. That Boba Fett was awesome. Give us that Boba Fett.
Nick, listen to these words, okay, and tell me, what does this sound like to you? Okay, I just hope we can do another one. Can everyone write to Disney? I'll give you some email addresses at the end. Just say, "Dear Disney, please let us do another one. Let us have a season 2, please." What does that sound like to you?
Desperation.
And you know who said that?
Tamura Morrison?
Nope.
Oh, Ewan McGregor. Yeah.
I was there when he said it. I was there when he said it.
Yeah.
Rissman was in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Did it sound as bad as it sounds when you read it?
So you have to understand, right? The room was like being at Celebration, right? The room was full of 2,600 people who came to see Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen talk about their Star Wars experience. So when Ewan started to say, "Who wants a season 2?" the whole room erupted.
Sure.
Right? Everyone in the room wanted Kenobi season 2. And so when he just fed off that and said, "Come on, we'll write them. We can make this happen." It was, he was semi-joking, semi-serious, and everyone was into it because that was the audience he was playing to.
Well, look, he's on record publicly saying he wants to reprise his role. He wants a season 2. And he's even gone as far to say we could tell multiple stories. There's years that we could cover. Hayden Christensen wants to return as well. And this tells us, this is an indication of how badly Star Wars has fallen, that they can't even do a season 2 because it's not going to make the money. And look, the truth is, I'm not a prequels guy, but Star Wars should at least be able to do a Obi-Wan Kenobi show with Ewan McGregor, and it'd be a draw.
How did they mess that up, man? That's just unbelievable.
The thing is, Vader returning. I went through the same thought process with the prequels before I went and saw them. Through each one, my thought process, because I know the original movies so well inside and out. I'm like, okay, this person said this. We know this about the backstory, so it's probably going to play out something like this. And then it's completely different. Padme dies. From my understanding from watching Jedi, Leia grew up with her mother, and her mother died when she was really young. Not right after she was born.
Not 2 minutes.
How would she remember her at all? Like, it made no sense to me. There were so many things like that in the prequels where I'm like, George, did you even go back and watch your own movies?
I don't think you did.
It doesn't line up. And that's part of my problem with the prequels. You got to play these mental gymnastics to make it kind of fit together and make sense. But same thing with Kenobi when they were talking about it. I was thinking, okay, you know, Vader's coming back, so he's going to be hunting down the remaining Jedi. He's going to be looking for Kenobi. He's never going to find them. But no, he does find them, and they fight again. I'm like, what's happening right now? And then the fight was terrible. And then Leia's with Kenobi. I'm like, why is this happening? None of this makes any sense to the original source material. It just doesn't line up. You have to do these mental gymnastics and stuff. It was so bad. The people writing this.
Give it up for Nick, ladies and gentlemen. I love it when he rants like this.
And I know this is the most inconsequential part, but they managed to ruin a Star Destroyer in the thing too, right? How do you ruin a Star Destroyer? I just can't.
Like the voice actors we've mentioned earlier, Frank Welker's Megatron, Cal Dodd's Wolverine in that teaser from X-Men 97 that we saw. Yeah. George Lucas's prequel trilogy and whatever Disney Star Wars is today. It's almost as if all of those things it's like when they try to bring it back or revive it, it's like a caricature of itself. It's not what it was at all. Yeah. It looks like it. It might resemble it, but it ain't it.
Not at all. Yeah.
So I don't know, if you're going to bring something back, let it be it.
But they don't have people there that care about the original vision of George Lucas. You know, they just don't care about what George was trying to accomplish. So, I mean, it's hard to bring something back from, you know, if you don't care about what George was trying to do, if you don't care about what Star Wars was, and you're trying to change it into something else. So let's make it a girl brand and let's really pump up the female characters, even though George said Star Wars was a series written for 12-year-old boys. That's the focus of this series. If you don't understand that and you're going to try to do something else with it, like Kathleen Kennedy saying, well, you know, look at all the women we have telling Star Wars stories. And we've shut the door on all of these guys who are lined up around the corner trying to hand me a script saying I've been a Star Wars fan since I was 5, you know, and you're bringing in a lot of people that don't really care. So what happens? You get Kenobi, you know, you get Book of Boba Fett, you get all of this other crap that we've been getting in Disney Star Wars. You know, you don't get Star Wars, you get Disney Star Wars. Yeah. That's what you get. So
and then they try to twist it. It's funny how they try to twist it too, because if you watch what they do, like at the end of Kenobi, they're like, we got to come up with an explanation to make what we want to do make sense. So at the end of Kenobi, you got a conversation between Kenobi and Leia of him saying, you must not ever tell anybody, you know, and having this dialogue to try to be like, okay, now it makes sense. No, you effing idiots. It still doesn't freaking make sense. Oh, man, that Kenobi show. Oh, man, it drove me nuts.
Yeah, I mean, because again, if you don't have, if you don't care about canon, if you don't care about lore, if you don't care about keeping the world the way it was, if you don't care about any of that and your job is just to write some nonsense, then yeah, just write whatever you're going to write. And then we'll look back on it, and then we'll try to fix things. You know, we'll write a script here, we'll write a piece here, give this speech that clears it all up. So all the people that are upset about the canon won't be, you know, too mad about that, you know, or the people that care about canon. Like we care about the lore. We care about the entire story. But they don't care about that stuff. You know, it's clear that they don't care about it. So here we are.
And if you go from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope, you know, with that, you know, what was it, like 18 years?
19 years, yeah.
Yeah, of time that went by. And then you go to when the Falcon is on the Death Star and Vader comes down and he's like, I sense something. A presence I've not felt since what? Yeah. A presence you've not felt since like 3 years ago? Like, what's going on here? Like, it just doesn't have that same feel, you know? Nah. You know, when you watch that moment in Star Wars and then look back at Revenge of the Sith, it's like, wow, all this time has passed, and it's like almost like a familiar song or a familiar thing from your childhood that you hear and you recognize, and you're like, wait a second, you know, you feel that moment with Vader at that particular point in
Well,
time.
well, you know
the
what's
Kenobi
funny
show
about that?
completely destroys that moment.
You know what's funny about that is you remember when Kenobi was dropping and they were hyping that moment up like the rematch. We're gonna get the rematch of the century. You know, yeah, all of that crap. Like that's what they care about. They don't care about sticking to the lore and finding a way to tell a good story. There's 1,000 good stories you could tell about Obi-Wan Kenobi that don't have anything to do with Darth Vader or fighting Darth Vader again. But they had nothing. They had nothing to offer us as the fans except another fight, and a fight that never should have happened. Never should have happened. Twice. It never should have happened. And that's all they had to offer us because they don't care. All they want to do is jangle the keys in front of us. Oh, look, everybody, we're gonna have Obi-Wan Kenobi and and Darth Vader fight again. That's basically what we're gonna do. That's what they wanted. They just wanted to hook you in to get you excited about this stupid fight, and then after that, but they didn't have anything else to offer. What is that? Oh,
Yak
okay.
face. and the
They
thing
can
is,
ruin Disney Star Wars, but I will
Man.
always have my yak face.
in the
Look at
other
that,
thing.
Nick. Look at that, Nick. Tell them about yak face, Nick.
Oh yeah, one of the final 17 of the Kidder line.
Nice.
The most expensive of the final 17.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Yeah,
Yak
hard to find.
face.
But yeah, the thing is, if they wanted to bring Vader back and have him be a part of that Kenobi show, they should have just told two paralleling stories.
Yeah.
Vader looking for Kenobi, Kenobi avoiding Vader, and them never meet. You know, Vader's hunting down Jedi, trying to find out if Kenobi's still alive, because then you hear Tarkin, you know, in episode 4, you know, a presence I've felt, my old master, and he's like, oh, surely he's dead by now, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
no,
long
I just saw the dude just a couple years ago, man. He's still out there.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's like, again, they didn't watch the original trilogy, or the people that wrote it didn't care about the original trilogy. All they cared about was, oh, we got Vader and Obi-Wan. They're still alive during this time. All right, let's have them fight. And then we'll suck all the fans in. And then, you know, we'll break the lore. Who cares? Or write something at the end to kind of explain it away. You know, that's basically what Disney is doing now. That's what Disney's done with Marvel, Star Wars, everything. They don't care. They just don't care.
How fun would it be, Nick, to watch the original trilogy again? And the commentary that we provide is to discuss all of the things that Disney has done that just doesn't line up.
Oh man,
that'd be like a 5. Just one movie would be like a 5-hour.
We could make it a
you
series.
could go into detail.
We could make it, and we have to be drunk.
yeah. That would make it even more funny.
That would be hilarious.
No. I'm definitely have to be drinking on that Last Jedi rewatch for sure.
Man.
I'm gonna have a bottle of Jack or some freaking Eagle Rare sitting right here next to me.
Yeah. Oh well, Mr. Producer Man, let's
do
it. Yep. Keely Chow, member for 11 months, says, why would you treat the prequel trilogy like it's an Alabama victory against Auburn? Roll Tide.
Hush it, Keely Chow, War Eagle.
Keely Chow, War Eagle, my man. Witch Doctor, $5. You need to watch fan edits and include all the deleted scenes. The prequels are far better when they have them, especially Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Nick has enjoyed those fan edits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was one I watched that they did it was a fan edit of all 3 movies of the prequels into one movie.
Yeah.
And it started with the Maul fight at the end of it. Basically skipped in the entire Phantom Menace. It skipped a lot of stuff in Clone Wars, but basically they compressed it and just left in the important stuff that mattered. Yeah, it was a lot better.
Tony, welcome home.
Hell, Tony.
Make sure you go watch our documentary, the sequel trilogy documentary called Destroying Star Wars. Silent Scotty with a 1999 super chat. Thank you so much, Silent Scotty. Was joking with 9456. Okay, I didn't know. But quite honestly, that would be perfect. Because then they would see that no one comes to 9, and then the theater is packed for 4, 5, and 6. Amen, brother. There's no doubt about that. They know what makes money and what doesn't. They just
Do they? Are you sure about
know.
that?
I look, when you're married
They
to
ain't
your
doing it.
Yeah,
No.
because they're married to their agenda and their messaging.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
How can you deny numbers? It's facts.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're all idiots and clueless over there.
Listen, this is why this will be the first May the 4th, I think, when they don't dust Rogue One off again and put it back in the theater, right? That's the only movie they keep bringing back.
Yeah.
Rogue One, Rogue One, Rogue One, Rogue One.
Because it's the best movie they've made.
Yeah.
And it's not without its problems, but it's the best one that they've made.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah.
Yep.
So look, when I saw Rogue One, it was instantly my 4th favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Because the prequels didn't hold up well. I don't care what Hayden Christensen says.
Yeah.
Well,
I like
also-
Hayden, but he just said that the prequels have held up exceptionally well. No,
I think
they've
he's
not.
talking about like his reception, like how fans flock to him
Oh,
because
there's no
these guys
doubt
are
about
at
that, yeah.
conventions.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's where
yeah.
they see all this love, like this outpouring of love that they get. They're like, hey man, these guys really like me. Okay, this is great.
Yeah.
You know, because at the time that the movies came out, right? Everybody was trashing the film, saying the films weren't that good. And
Yeah,
he's
he was
like,
getting
man,
dunked
you know,
on
nobody
pretty
likes
hard.
this. But then he shows up at Star Wars Celebration. And I mean, people, you know, there's standing ovations and they just love the guy.
When they had first announced him the first time, I think it was 2015 or 16.
Yeah.
And he walked out on stage. Everybody went berserk. And you could see it on his face. He was stunned.
Yeah.
He was crying. He was crying.
He
I was
was not
there.
expecting it. He was not expecting it. You know, time did a lot. And the thing is, we're going to honor as I appreciate the prequels and those people that went through it. Just because I make a statement like the magic was gone, it was. The prequels are not the original trilogy. They're not even close.
Right.
But it's still George Lucas Star Wars.
Right.
I still love them. It's okay to love an ugly dog.
No. Yeah, true.
I think the prequels just have a ton of fans. You know, they just have their own, like prequelists. They just have their own little corner of
It's
Star
their own
Wars
generation.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
a
their
different
thing. That's
generation
their
from
Star
ours.
Wars.
Yeah.
Yep. And so
Well,
Gen
I-
Xers with the OT is different feeling from, you know, the prequelists. You know, they love it. They swear by it. They, you know, collect all the stuff. And you know, you can't shut up. They won't shut up about how great the prequels are. It's just like, okay. You know,
Well-
and then they had the Clone Wars as well. So, you know, I think the Phantom Menace is going to make a ton of money. I think it's going to make a lot of money. Oh yeah, I think when it drops in theaters, yeah, I think a lot of people are going to check that out. A lot of these prequelists, that segment of the Star Wars fandom, they are absolutely going to flock to theaters to see that. That's my prediction. I could be wrong, but I think they will absolutely.
I agree with DA on this, but Coach, I don't know if we'll have time to get to it, but in the Empire article, they were asking Hayden questions, right, about his experience, you know, playing Anakin, and of course they had to bring up the younglings, right? They're like, so what's your reaction when you meet children? You know, is it ever a problem? And Hayden says something like, he's like, you know, I'm always a little nervous. He said, but it never seems to be a problem. They just want to meet Anakin. He said they're not worried about it. You know, it's just funny that, you know, he really loves meeting fans. One thing you can say about that guy is I experienced him from afar at MegaCon, just meeting and greeting and shaking hands and taking time with folks and just loving the fans. And by the way, Ewan is the same way with fans, right? But they're obviously their personalities are very different. But Hayden is just so thankful to have had all these opportunities, and it shows every time you see the guy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm very glad to hear that. I really am. You know, all of those actors thought that they were signing up to be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
But it wasn't the same. And they found out really quickly.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same. And look, there was a lot of backlash. There was a lot of pissed off fans.
Mm.
You know, a lot of George Lucas hate. There was. And you know what? Some of it is legitimate.
100%. Yeah.
It's not all legitimate, but some of it is very legitimate.
Yeah.
He surrounded himself with yes men.
It's like I said earlier. He became a caricature of himself. George Lucas might have had too long to sit and think about what he wanted to do, and it became too big in his own head.
Well, that's one of the points that I was making. Again, he has so many things going on, so many different storylines happening in like just the first film, much less you get to like, you know, Attack of the Clones. It's like, man, it's like you got the Padme Anakin romance, you got the whole thing with the separatists going on, you got the clone army that has to be built, you got the Mace Windu trying to track down what's going on in the Senate and everything. I mean, it's like you got so many different little storylines just going all over the place. It's like, yo, you need to peel back. If you go back to A New Hope, A New Hope is like they got to get these droids back to the princess, all right. And you got the you got to get through the Empire to get these droids back to the princess. So they plan a little, impromptu rescue mission. They get the princess off with the droids. We get the plans back to the rebels. Time for the final battle. It was so simple. It's such a straightforward story. They don't add all kinds of extra characters. Oh, we got a romance going over here. We got this, and this. Like, no. Straightforward, to the point. And that's the best. That's when Star Wars is at its best, when it keeps it lean and it's simple, and if you're not trying to overly complicate it with all of this world building. And that's, some of the problems when you have like, A New Hope, obviously the original, you don't have to think about all the world building that you have to connect all this stuff to. You're starting it fresh. But then when you get to episode, the prequels, now you got to start connecting like all the stuff that we know about this era to what it is that he wanted to do. And I didn't think it just got too much for him and he couldn't handle it. He needed a real screenwriter.
That's a good trick.
Plus, we had two very different sort of coming of age stories, right? I mean, you had Luke Skywalker's story, obviously in A New Hope, and everyone wanted to be Luke Skywalker, right? I mean, just because we could see ourselves in the story they were telling. Then in The Phantom Menace, you had Anakin Skywalker
becoming the villain story.
Nobody I don't know about y'all. I didn't want to be Anakin, right? No. I mean, it was a very different.
Boy, I did.
It was a very different
reaction. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for one reason only, right? But I'm talking about when we experience them in The Phantom Menace, right? It's like it's just two totally different takes on that concept. Very, very different.
Now, Rob, I didn't read the books of the films, but I think Coach, didn't you read the book for The Phantom Menace?
Not from cover to cover.
Okay.
I thumbed through it and went and found the parts that I wanted to read.
Yeah.
Now I read the original trilogy multiple times.
Yeah.
I did read Revenge of the Sith. I did read that one all the way through.
I read Revenge of the Sith before the movie, right? Like an idiot, because the book came out before the movie, so I'm read the whole damn thing.
I got the PlayStation 2 Episode 3 video game.
Yeah, I left your house because you were sitting there playing it, watching scenes from the movie, and I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm watching it. Coach was like, well, you don't care about all the spoilers? I was like, no, man, I'm going in. I'm going to know everything about it.
I thought that was the dumbest crap.
Yeah.
All right. Debbie Young, $4.99 super chat. Well, Coach, if you don't like Solo, you could always send him back here to me. Woo.
he likes that Solo from Empire Strikes Back.
Sorry. Witch Doctor, $5. After reading Darth Plagueis, I grew to love the prequels. It completely changed my mind on them. It's really that good. So that's interesting, because that's something that George Lucas had nothing to do with. That's somebody else telling a story that kind of accents You know, so but that's awesome. I mean, it really, really is. And I gotta say, you know, I already made the point, but I'll say it again. Props to George Lucas first and Dave Filoni for being there with him and helping with the Clone Wars and how it was able to make the prequels better for many fans.
Yeah.
Because if it weren't for that, I would not look at them like I do now. But when I go somewhere, like if I go somewhere and there's like merch and I see prequel trilogy merch,
I ain't buying no.
I don't even sniff it.
No, I'm not buying no prequel.
It's like I didn't even see it. If I walk, but if it's original trilogy, I stop dead in my tracks.
So I got to tell you, Coach, on DA's point, speaking from the Lego perspective, as I often do, anything prequels related, Lego sells like wildfire.
Oh, I just saw the Super Star Destroyer Lego set yesterday. I was gonna buy it, but it's $70. I was like, "F you, Lego, $70 for that thing."
Lego's expensive, homie. That's too rich for my blood. Yeah,
$70.
So,
but
here's
like
Rissman. I know why. You do know why, right? It sells out like the way that it does.
Well, it is the only thing. It is the only thing offered for prequels. But
well, not only that, but I mean, Lego knows there's only 3 dozen prequel fans, so they make 3 dozen of them.
No, that's not true.
Then they sell out.
But if you think about it, like there's more in terms of Star Wars. There's just more prequels content. Like you got the movies, plus you got all of Clone Wars. You got the Bad Batch. You got Andor. Well, I don't know if Andor falls into prequel. I guess it does, sort of. But, you know, Rebels, all of that, you just have way more storytelling going on. And so there's always stuff to buy. There's always more, you know, whatever you want to buy. There's just more prequel storytelling. They haven't done that much, obviously, with the original trilogy. It's just kind of limited, you know, just those 3 films. And that's kind of it, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
Rissman, are you getting that Super Star Destroyer set?
So which one are you talking about?
It's the one with the black box, like the nice series.
Is it the midi scale?
Yeah, the mini scale.
Yeah, it's back there. It's back there behind the big one on the shelf.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you already got it. Okay.
That one came out last year.
Okay, yeah, I just saw it. I guess they're re-released it or bringing it back out.
It's still around. It's still around.
Yeah. I just saw it at Walmart yesterday, and I was like, "Oh man, I want to get that." And I looked at the price. I was like, "Oh, never mind."
What about that? What about that, Rissman?
So it's really a beautiful set. The Dune Ornithopter, and the wings flap. It's all made with Technic. It's a ginormous. It's sold out. It's sold out of pre-orders, and I think it's releasing March the 1st. It's sold. It comes with 10 or 11 minifigures. It's an amazing. So I don't know where I would put it. It's an amazing set.
You need a bigger office.
The wings stick out so far, and they flap in. But I mean, if you want to, and you can press the button, and the wings, and they really did a great job.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get some floating shelves in there or something.
I know. I'm gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to take some sets down and put up new sets, I guess. But.
So, well, look. If you want a real toy, not none of that Lego crap, ladies and gentlemen, Yak Face.
Lego stuff's not too bad. This is
there. You go. There's the TIE bomber.
Yeah.
Nick, how much was Yak Face selling for back when we were a little younger and were collecting?
150, 200 range.
How much do you think Yak Face sells for today?
Oh,
this figure right here,
800.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah,
right on.
Those are sold listings. Those are not for sale.
Yeah,
man.
So it's
I ain't spending $800 on a toy. I'm actually
just think about it. I could buy 2 Lego sets for this.
Yeah. I'm actually debating on going through and doing a bunch of house cleaning and selling tons of stuff that I got.
Wow.
Tons of stuff.
Well,
some stuff I'm going to keep for the studio space when I get it built upstairs to have on display behind me.
All right. It's been fun, guys.
We have two more we didn't finish.
Mega Show.
We didn't quite
Number
finish.
2. Donald J. Skywalker making Star Wars great again. Do you think this is a Hollywood revenge for George Lucas bucking the studio system? They have methodically destroyed every George Lucas creation. If not that, then why?
I think it's because they think that what they think is better. And their ideas are better. I don't think it's to destroy George Lucas or anything like that. I mean, a lot of people in that industry respect George Lucas a whole hell of a lot because he basically made himself and not been connected to the studios like a lot of other people were. He was kind of his own thing, and he kind of used the studios to basically put his movie out and help finance and film and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think they just think what they know and their ideas are better.
I agree.
I just think Hollywood is a business, and they don't have artist's heart. They don't have George Lucas's visions. They don't have the things that really is required to make something like Star Wars. Yeah. You know, Star Wars has to come from a visionary, somebody that has like something in his heart, burning in his heart. That, man, I've been wanting to do this my entire life. I have this passion. And they don't have passion. They just see it as a paycheck. You know, that's all it is to them. It's just a paycheck. Hollywood is like that.
Yeah, Ron Johnson and J.J. Abrams tried saying, you know, about their passion and they're huge fans and all that. And, you know, when they were talking, I was excited. I believed them. And after I saw the movie,
they sounded good.
I'm like, you obviously are not a Star Wars fan if this is what you gave us.
Man, look, Ryan Johnson was seen on camera getting gifted a 1980 in the box Empire Strikes Back AT-AT. Yeah. And I thought to myself, looking at the excitement on his face, he's one of us. And then after I go watch that movie, I don't even want an AT-AT.
Yeah. He probably sold that thing on eBay and was like, man, I don't even want this thing.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know, maybe one of you gave it to a kid, right? Maybe his children give it to his
hey kid, you want this thing?
It's Hollywood, baby. It's like Rachel Zegler said, man. It's just they're a bunch of fake, phony play actors, man. So yeah, the directors, the actors, they're not honest people. You know, that's why. And I did a video about this, talking about Henry Cavill. How you can tell Henry Cavill is a fan of what he, you know, talks about, everything that he does, and it's so refreshing to see that as a fan myself. Seeing somebody that absolutely loves, I love that, man. That is absolutely solid. Yeah. That is dope, man.
That is very cool.
That is very nice. But yeah, like Henry Cavill wants to bring Warhammer, and he's like, yo, I've been playing Warhammer since I was a kid. You know, I've been doing this since I was, you know, a little kid. And that's the passion you need when it comes to stepping into a big franchise if you're not the original creator, you know? So you need Star Wars fans who love Star Wars, who have a passion for Star Wars. Those are the people that need to make Star Wars content. So that to answer that question, yeah, he's just, it's not that Hollywood is trying to sabotage Star Wars because George Lucas bucked the system. Hollywood just doesn't know any better. And they think that, you know, everything they're doing is great. And, you know, we understand the fan base. But reality is we just don't have a heart of an artist. We don't believe in the, you know, the content, you know, like that. You know, we just see it as, you know, stuff to make. You know, we're just going to make a bunch of content. There we go. And we're going to make a lot of money because we're going to slap the name Star Wars on top of it. And the fans will eat it up. And there are people that will absolutely eat it up, you know. Yeah. But they're starting to see it's like, okay, we're not bringing in the money that we used to bring in. And we're spending, you know, millions upon millions of dollars on this stuff. And it's just not, you know, returning our investments. So we got to figure something else out.
Well, one last comment from Venger.
Real quick before I forget, DA, I want a hat just like that, but with a Star Destroyer on it.
Oh, that would be cold. That would be cold right there. Yeah. You keep showing up all these little,
looking good.
Yeah, but where's Nick's Greedo at, man?
Oh no!
Oh my!
Let's not. Let me get through this last one. Let's not get back on the Greedo story. Venger, member for 36 months. He has some Tarkin advice. He's playing backseat Tarkin. I know this will make for a poor movie, but if Tarkin had any sense, he'd just get the Death Star to fire on the Yavin gas giant and let it engulf Yavin 4 in its destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah, he totally could have done that. But I don't know. Would the Death Star have been able to blow up that? Because it's like way bigger than a planet.
I don't know.
No, you need Starkiller Base.
Starkiller Base could have done it.
Yeah, you would have needed
far
something
away.
like Starkiller Base to take that out.
Well,
yeah,
Vendor, I'm glad they went the route they went. It was a good suspense. We needed the suspense.
Better movie that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Who stole my Greedo? I agree. Yeah. What happened?
Who stole my
Where's
Greedo
his Greedo
shirt?
at? You notice he don't bring a Greedo out. You notice he ain't brought a Greedo out yet.
Yeah, he's like, man,
he doesn't want to admit that.
And Nick be like, hey, there it is.
I've been looking for that thing for 30 years.
The Star Wars toys that I've given him, he could sell and buy
I could
100 Greedos.
Yeah, I could buy 100 Greedos for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here. Great show, guys. Nick with the EBN cast tomorrow, DA doing his thing, and Rissman barking orders all the time. So
Keeping us
we're
in
doing
check.
it. Yep. All right. Anything you guys want to say on the way out here?
Nah. See you guys on Saturday. Thanks for
see you
showing
guys
up,
for
stopping in the
EBN
DA's office. Appreciate that.
Yep. See you guys
Absolutely.
at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
All right.
And I hope everyone enjoys Madam Web this weekend. Have fun.
Oh yeah. I hope you
have fun with that.
I hope you guys don't feel bad about wasting your money to see that garbage.
And for all the people pulling a Pee Wee Herman in the movies, do your thing, boy. All right. As we always say, we are, you are, Echo Base Network. We'll see you guys on the next one. Later, guys.
Take care, everyone.
Later.
Coach and Nick from Echo Base Network, thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. I did not steal that man's Greedo.
He really
just give him back to Greedo. Come on, Coach.
Coach, it's been 30 years.
But one day, I might tell you what I did to his Nike jacket.
Yeah, I know. But he told me years later, you guys don't want that. That's a Patreon story.
Oh, Patreon exclusive.
Yeah, that's a Patreon exclusive.
Hey, I'll tell y'all as soon as we're done here. Don't go anywhere. You're gonna die on this one.
Oh yeah. Oh, so gross.